Hey everyone, I'm here to talk about Turnip Boy Robs a Bank. This game is incredibly silly and stupid. It is, I guess, an indirect sequel to Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. And while Robs a Bank doesn't sound as glamorous as Tax Evasion or as esoteric, it is honestly just as, if not more, fun. So in this time, Turnip Boy is actually acting like a roguelike, and similar to Hotline Miami, I'm just shocked that this team has so much talent to go from a Zelda-like game to a roguelike action shooter. So basically, you now have a 360-degree style directional shooter, and the dialogue is just as funny as it was in the last game, and it's very, very silly. There's other things you can do around the office. You can pick up objects, and basically by doing this you go through the stage, and basically you have to either hassle the people and throw them around to get their money, or you can craft, or rather mine certain items to get more money. There's also little challenges, and what's great is that it's always 2 minutes roughly that you have to pull off the heist, and as you go on throughout the game you're going to get more time to add to the clock, and as you get more money you can buy more upgrades, purchase more things, and basically you're able to get different guns and max out your experience. Funnily enough, there are side quests in this scenario where characters will ask you to go to different floors of the bank to find different people or different items, and then use it appropriately and give it back to them and things like this, or to attack certain individuals. Sometimes enemies will drop special items that you can pick up, and will have like a monetary value to them, like coffee mugs or statues or things like this. There's one and of course the old comedy and humor of the Turnip Boy games this year. I absolutely love it. There's, I think, a pierogi that wants you to steal a certificate of good food back from some other kind of dumpling or something, so that everyone knows that the dumpling is bad and that the pierogi is superior, and the only way to prove that is to get the form that says so. Stupid things like this. I absolutely love the dialogue and the characters in this game. It is so absolutely silly and very well written and very funny that it's totally worth it. So the way it works is the first floor is always going to be the exact same, and the doors as they go around the bank are always going to be the exact same. There is 4 different boss fights, one in each corner of the bank, and there are also elevators throughout the facility. So as you go through the elevators, as the elevator repairman explains to you, he basically cannot predict which floor it goes to. So the elevator rooms are sort of special rooms or special floors where you can get special items and things like that. For example, one floor has a safe, and once you have the safe cracker, you can basically go in there and get the big loot, basically. And by getting the big loot, you are able to get way more points, which then gets you more stuff, and then you get different kinds of stuff. There's one room in the bank where you find the Grim Reaper, or the Grim Rapper, or whatever he's called. He's like a DJ, and basically what his role is he'll give you a scythe, and when you attack certain enemies you'll get soul points, and you can exchange that to him for different weapons, or you can trade it in for different OSTs or different songs to play while you go through the bank. So that's obviously very useful. There's also a lot of culture references in this game that are very appropriate and funny. Lots of internet meme references without being overbearing. I think this game does it very well without being too much. And so ultimately what's going to happen is, by the end of the game, it's expected that you basically speed run the entire bank. And so from just becoming a bottomless hole without a purpose, you basically get all of your cash and gear up to basically do the final heist, which is to steal the entire bank itself. And it's, of course, it's this ridiculous plot where in order to actually heist the bank and actually rob the bank, you actually plant 4 different like missiles in the bank itself, and you actually launch the bank into space so you can steal the entire bank in its entirety. And it's just this ridiculous thing. There's also a little backstory that you're working with the giant pickle guy who used to be in the mafia and worked with your dad. And so the guy you're trying to rob is the owner of the bank, who is the Onion, and you're basically trying to get revenge on the guy who screwed your dad over in the vegetable mafia. So there's a bit of story and lore there. Of course, it's silly as usual. Some of the dialogue in this game is absolutely amazing. There's one character who, you know, there are these kind of gremlins who living underground, and they all kind of, you know, look like these elven guys, and he admits, oh no, my name's Greg, and basically we were all just really into D&D and cosplay, and so when the bombs landed, we were just all in our basements playing D&D, and that's how we survived. Just stupid things like that. I love this game so much. And so at the end of every heist, you basically, once the timer runs out, it's not over. They just send in the SWAT team. And honestly, the SWAT team is really not that hard if you have a pretty decent weapon. But after 5 minutes or something, or an extra minute or something, the mayor will, or the Onion guy will start flooding the entire bank with poison gas, killing everyone. So at that point, you pretty much have to leave. But yeah, there's different kinds of upgrades you can get for your stats and skills. There's certain items that you can get, which let you get deeper into the bank. And then, of course, there's different weapons, which give you different offensive capabilities. It's really great that usually when you defeat a boss, they'll drop a really useful weapon that you can use in the next area. And like I said, at the end of the game, you have to do a total boss rush, defeat the boss, and activate the rocket, and go all around the bank and do that. It's pretty difficult, honestly. The fourth, I must have failed 20 times on the last one until I eventually went in the opposite direction, and that actually worked. Because in the last section, it's all corridors, and they just corner you in, and there's nothing, there's nowhere to hide. There's nothing you can do. So I did it the other way, and that worked. It's also, again, I won't spoil the ending to this game, but it is honestly fairly appropriately epic. And the other thing that's very funny to note is the final song for the final boss is using Vocaloid synthesizer Hatsune Miku. So this game just does, like, it absolutely slaps. It is absolutely hilarious, and the OST is great. It's so much fun. And it's so addicting, and I could not stop playing it until I maxed it out. I'm usually not a fan of roguelites or games like these, but I absolutely adore this game. And it's showing that this game company is absolutely incredibly skilled at making games like this, and I cannot wait to see what they make next. It's funny that the bank has different areas that are like a toxic sludge facility, and things that just are not supposed to be in a bank at all. Obviously, you know, they go there. You think you fight the final... There's also a final section in the sewers beneath the bank. That's really cool. And then you get pretty much the best gun in the game that you need to use for the final boss that honestly I saved and got for the final boss and put in the locker every time, which are the money launcher guns, the guns that just shoot money. Those are pretty much the best things in the game, and they're so rapid fire that if you just do a sustained fire on a boss for like a few seconds, it can basically kill them, and that's how you do the boss rush. So that's why I like this game. You know, it sets it off fairly easy, or rather fairly hard, and then once you get far enough and it expects you to do all these crazy things, then it will really give you the tools to do those crazy things and really allow you to push yourself. Outside of that, I can't really think of what else to say. There's mostly, you know, pistols, shotguns, machine guns, and, you know, some melee weapons, which are very useful. It feels like you really mastered the game because you can just, you know, dash through everything once you have the right equipment. Yeah, and the dialogue from every character is always a treasure and a joy to read. It's always the funniest thing. And this team obviously has a very, interesting, series of viewpoints where they don't necessarily disband anyone or exclude anyone. Everything they do is of a very in tune internet culture. There's nothing that's off the table for them, and they're very in the know, I guess. These people obviously have a ton of fun making these games, and I have a ton of fun playing them. And I think with saying that, I think it's good to take a break here. Anyway, guys, please check out Turnip Boy Robs a Bank. It's wonderful. Talk to you later. Bye.